North Korea has long been a place of secrecy and harsh conditions. Former bodyguard Lee Yang Guk, who served both Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un, has revealed shocking details about his time in the elite security force, his escape attempt, and the brutal realities of life inside the regime. Subscribe to Fledgling Eagle for more shocking revelations and in-depth stories. What is it like to be a bodyguard in North Korea? North Korea, under the rule of the Kim family for several generations, is a highly secretive and tightly controlled state. From Kim Il-sung, the founding leader, to his son Kim Jong-il, and now his grandson Kim Jong-un, the Kim family has maintained an iron grip over the country. Their reign is built on constant surveillance, absolute control, and a pervasive cult of personality. In such a regime, the safety of the ruling Kim family is of paramount importance. To ensure that the family remains protected from both internal and external threats, Kim Jong-un has assembled a specialized and elite group of bodyguards known as the Supreme Guard Command. But this is no ordinary security team. The Supreme Guard is an exclusive and highly selective unit, with an extremely demanding recruitment process and rigorous training. Its members are tasked with one singular mission: to guard the Kim family at all costs, with no room for failure or hesitation. Hey there, where are you from? I want to know which city you're watching our video from. Please leave a comment so we don't feel lonely. A small action like this will motivate us to make more videos. Thank you and much love to you. The formation of the Supreme Guard Command was a direct response to numerous assassination attempts and coup plots, most notably during the time of Kim Jong-il. Given the threat of internal dissent and the ever-present danger of an uprising, the bodyguards must not only be highly trained, but also completely devoted to the Kim family's protection. These bodyguards are expected to sacrifice everything for the sake of their mission, including their personal lives. Once they are inducted into this elite force, there is no going back. Loyalty and commitment to the Kim family are their only priorities, and failure is not an option. The brutal selection process. Becoming a bodyguard for the Kim family in North Korea is no small feat, and the selection process reflects the harsh and unforgiving nature of the regime itself. To be eligible, a candidate must meet a range of incredibly strict criteria. First, they must be physically fit and mentally strong, able to withstand extreme conditions and the pressures of serving such a high-profile position. However, physical strength alone is not enough. The government uses a comprehensive system known as songbun to assess a person's political loyalty, which is crucial to the recruitment process. The songbun system tracks the loyalty of a person's family to the regime, with each individual being assigned a status based on their family's history of political allegiance. Even a distant relative who was suspected of disloyalty, or who attempted to escape the country, could immediately disqualify the candidate from consideration. Once a candidate passes the initial scrutiny of their family history and loyalty, they are subjected to intense physical training. The training is designed to transform the recruits into elite soldiers who can handle any situation. Bodyguards undergo strenuous fitness routines, including weight training, cardiovascular exercises, and martial arts. These physical drills are designed to test their endurance, strength, and ability to react quickly in dangerous situations. In addition to physical conditioning, the recruits are also trained in various forms of combat and shooting techniques, They must be proficient with a variety of weapons, ranging from handguns to rifles, as well as defensive techniques to protect the Kim family in all possible scenarios. The training is designed to prepare them for any threat, whether from inside the country or from external forces. However, physical training is just the beginning. The recruits are also subjected to intense psychological conditioning. The training process includes ideological brainwashing, where recruits are taught to revere and worship the Kim family. They are indoctrinated with the belief that the protection of the Kim family is not just a job, but a sacred duty. This mental and emotional conditioning ensures that the bodyguards are not only capable of physical tasks, but are also mentally committed to their mission, seeing their loyalty as an inseparable part of their identity. The recruits' minds are molded to view their purpose as greater than anything else in life, and failure is seen as the ultimate disgrace. All right. If you're new to this channel, Fledgling Eagle warmly welcomes you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on the notification bell to catch our upcoming content. Lee Yang Guk's shocking revelations. Lee Yang Guk's story is one of the most shocking accounts of life as a bodyguard in North Korea. He began his journey with a strong sense of duty and devotion to the Kim family, as most recruits do. However, over time, Lee came to realize that the reality of serving in the Supreme Guard Command was far darker than he had ever imagined. His experience paints a grim picture of what it is like to be part of this elite force. Lee's time as a bodyguard was filled with immense challenges, both physical and psychological. For years, he and his fellow bodyguards underwent harsh training that focused on perfecting their physical abilities while simultaneously reinforcing their loyalty to the regime through constant ideological indoctrination. Lee reveals that the job of protecting the Kim family wasn't simply about physical prowess. It was about absolute, unquestioning loyalty, something that was ingrained in them from the moment they joined the force. This loyalty was nurtured through constant exposure to propaganda and intensive brainwashing. From an early age, every North Korean is taught to revere the Kim family as almost divine figures. For those selected as bodyguards, this brainwashing went to an extreme level. They were constantly reminded that their lives had no meaning outside of the mission to serve and protect the Kim family, and their existence was solely tied to this purpose. This psychological pressure created a sense of isolation and obsession, making it difficult for bodyguards to connect with anyone outside their unit. Lee's account also reveals the immense emotional and mental toll that serving in the Supreme Guard Command took on him. While the job required immense physical strength, it was the mental strain that was perhaps the most challenging aspect. The guards were constantly under surveillance, isolated from the rest of society, and pressured to conform to the rigid and controlling system that governed their every action. They were never allowed to think for themselves or express any doubts about their mission. The constant indoctrination created an environment where dissent was not only forbidden, but unimaginable. As Lee describes, the job was grueling, not just physically but emotionally and mentally. Over time, he came to see the dark side of the Kim family's power, how it manipulated not just the people of North Korea, but even the very people entrusted with its protection. Despite their years of training and sacrifices, the bodyguards remained prisoners of their own loyalty, isolated from the outside world and subjected to the harsh demands of a regime that valued control and power above all else. Lee's story serves as a chilling reminder of the price paid by those who serve in such a high-stakes, all-consuming position. The extreme physical training. The physical training for members of North Korea's Supreme Guard Command was nothing short of brutal, designed to not only forge warriors capable of protecting the Kim family, but also to create a psychological bond of loyalty to the regime. For Lee Yang Guk and his fellow bodyguards, the physical feats they were expected to perform bordered on the surreal and extreme. Among the most bizarre aspects of their training, Lee recalls being taught to break tiles with their heads and chests and smash light bulbs with nothing but a single finger. These tasks may seem like parlor tricks, but in the context of the regime, they served a far darker purpose: to instill an unwavering sense of loyalty to Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un. Each of these physical acts, however painful or dangerous, was a reminder that their personal safety was secondary to their mission. Their lives were expendable, but their loyalty was not. Every bruise and every muscle ache symbolized their sacrifice. Through these extreme feats, the regime communicated that the Guard's sole purpose was to ensure the safety of the Kim family at any cost, no matter the physical or emotional toll. Even Kim Jong-il himself would sometimes observe these training sessions, enjoying the spectacle of his bodyguards performing these feats of strength and endurance. Lee recalls a moment when he successfully broke 11 bricks in a row with his hands during one of these displays, an achievement that left him with a lasting scar on his hand. This moment was a source of immense pride, but it also highlighted the grim reality of the training. The Guards' physical prowess was not merely for show. It was about conditioning them to withstand not just physical pain, but the unrelenting demands of their duty. The regime sought to create not just physically strong individuals, but individuals whose mental fortitude would be unshakable. The expectation was that bodyguards would not question their mission, regardless of the circumstances. The unseen psychological toll. While the physical training was grueling, the mental and emotional strain on the bodyguards was even more profound. The weight of serving as a protector of the Kim family was never just about physical strength. It was about maintaining an unwavering commitment to the regime under the constant fear of punishment for even the smallest mistakes. The pressure of performing perfectly was suffocating, and the repercussions of any failure were catastrophic. For Lee, the psychological toll was overwhelming. He recalls that no matter how well you performed, there was always the constant fear of falling out of favor with Kim Jong-il, whose temper was legendary. If the leader was displeased with a bodyguard, the consequences could be severe, ranging from a demotion to a life sentence in one of North Korea's notorious labor camps. In the most extreme cases, the punishment could be execution. This constant state of anxiety created an environment where trust was virtually non-existent. Every move was scrutinized, and even the slightest perceived failure could lead to a catastrophic outcome. But the consequences weren't limited to the guards alone. The regime ensured that the families of the bodyguards would also be punished if their loved ones failed in their duty. This created an environment of perpetual fear, where every action was taken under the shadow of potential retribution. Lee describes the constant anxiety and paranoia that defined his time in the Supreme Guard Command, knowing that even a single misstep could result in the destruction of not just his own life, but the lives of his family members. The heartbreaking escape attempt. After years of living under the immense pressure of serving as a bodyguard for the Kim family, Lee Yang Guk eventually reached a breaking point. In 1994, he made the decision to escape North Korea, hoping to find a better life and eventually reach South Korea. He fled to China, where he hoped to find refuge. However, China's strict policy of deporting North Korean defectors meant that Lee's escape was short-lived. He was captured and sent back to North Korea, where his punishment would be far worse than anything he had experienced before. Upon his return, Lee was sent to the infamous Yodok labor camp, one of the most brutal detention centers in North Korea. Yodok is known for its extreme cruelty, where prisoners are subjected to inhumane treatment, forced labor, and systematic torture. Lee's time in Yodok was marked by constant beatings, torture, and abuse. He was left with permanent physical scars, such as marks from rifle butts, broken teeth, and other injuries caused by the relentless brutality of his captors. But the worst part of his ordeal wasn't just the physical suffering. It was the psychological toll of knowing that a failed escape attempt could cost him everything. In one of the most oppressive regimes in the world, the price of defection was unimaginable suffering. Lee recalls the complete isolation he felt in the labor camp, where he was stripped of his identity and reduced to nothing more than a number in a system designed to break his will. The constant physical punishment, the unrelenting mental torture, and the loss of hope in a place where survival was uncertain, all contributed to his shattered sense of self. Yet, through it all, he clung to a flicker of hope, determined to survive and share his story with the world. A glimpse into North Korea's dark secrets. Lee Yang Guk's story is not just one of survival. It is a profound look into the chilling reality of life under North Korea's Kim regime. A life defined by extreme loyalty, fear, and betrayal. As a former bodyguard for the Kim family, Lee's experience sheds light on the dark methods the regime uses to ensure complete control over its citizens, particularly those entrusted with the task of protecting the most powerful family in the country. Life as a member of the Supreme Guard Command was more than just about physical strength. It was about ideological loyalty. The regime didn't just want loyal protectors for the Kim family. It demanded absolute devotion, which was cultivated through years of intense training and constant propaganda. The bodyguard's purpose was not just to defend the family physically, but also to embody the regime's beliefs and values without question. Any failure, any sign of disloyalty, could result in severe punishment, often not just for the individual, but for their families as well. Lee's testimony reveals a deeply oppressive system, where even the smallest mistake could result in cruel consequences, including being sent to labor camps or, worse, executed. The pressure of being a bodyguard was not only physical but psychological. Every day the guards were constantly reminded of their expendability. Their lives meant nothing beyond their duty to the Kim family. This psychological toll was immense. The threat of punishment hung over them, knowing that their every action was being watched, judged, and scrutinized by the regime. In addition to the intense physical training, the guards underwent ideological indoctrination that went beyond traditional brainwashing. From an early age, every North Korean is taught to worship the ruling Kim family. But for bodyguards, this indoctrination was taken to the extreme. Lee's story highlights how these guards were not simply soldiers. They were disciples, expected to put their lives on the line without hesitation, all in the name of maintaining the Kim family's power. However, despite enduring years of brutal training and fear, Lee's story is not just one of despair. His escape from North Korea, though fraught with unimaginable risks, offers a rare glimpse of hope. In 1994, after years of living under intense pressure, Lee managed to flee to China and eventually to South Korea, hoping for a better life. His defection symbolizes more than just personal freedom. It represents a challenge to the system of control the Kim family has maintained for decades. By speaking out, Lee has shattered the silence surrounding the harsh realities of life within North Korea. His courage in sharing his painful journey has helped the outside world understand the intense loyalty required by the regime and the brutal consequences of dissent. Lee's escape is a symbol of resistance and defiance against one of the most oppressive regimes in the world. His story serves as a beacon of hope for those still trapped under the regime's control, showing that freedom is possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Lee's decision to speak out about the extreme loyalty demanded by the Kim family and the brutality he witnessed has brought attention to the grim truths of life in North Korea. It offers a stark reminder that even in a regime built on fear, the human spirit can still fight for freedom and survive. The life of a North Korean bodyguard is a brutal mix of physical and psychological strain, where loyalty is all that matters, and disobedience often leads to death or lifelong punishment. Lee Yang Guk's story reveals the harsh realities of the Kim regime's elite security force and the toll it takes on those trapped within. His revelations offer a glimpse of hope for a life beyond the Kim family's rule. Would you dare to live it? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking stories from the world's most mysterious places.